Hello and welcome to our special broadcast. We've now reached the final stretch of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. Just one more day to go in the 4 test match series, and even now I wouldn't say 3, but at least 2 results are still possible. One which seems the most likely, that is a draw, but then it could also result in an unlikely India victory. It could because of the standout performance by the Indian batsmen on day 4 of the Ahmedabad test match. We'll talk about the 100 that Virat Kohli got. We'll talk about the innings that Axar Patel played. What is it that Australia managed to do in the brief period that they were there on the crease? And joining us live and exclusive for the next half an hour or so is former India cricketer, a World Cup winner in Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, welcome to the program. But before I get into the Ahmedabad test match, let me just tell my viewers what he's busy doing. No, he's not going to the parliament. No, he's not sitting in the cricket studios analyzing. What he's doing is playing cricket at the moment, the one thing that he loves. And what you're seeing on your screen is the, Harbhajan Singh turning back the clock, bowling that off spin, goes round the legs of a batsman as big as Chris Gayle and gets him out. Harbhajan, my question to you is, at the moment where nothing is happening on the Ahmedabad pitch, we need an off-spinner like you to be playing for India and not the Legends League.
No. I think I'm done with my playing days at the international level. But yes, I'm happy playing here with some of the legends who played this beautiful game, and it's kind of a regroup for all of us to, play the game together and enjoying this moment. I'm happy being here rather than being in Ahmedabad playing on a very, very serious note kind of a cricket. So I'm quite happy here.
No, it's not just you happy at the moment. All cricket fans are happy seeing that contest which we saw for many years, Chris Gayle versus Harbhajan Singh, and many are calling it that as well as the ball of the century in Legends cricket. Okay, we'll now turn our attention to the test match because that's where the eyes of the entire cricketing world is. It's a marquee series, India versus Australia, and I said any possible result can be seen going into the 5th and final day. But the focus was on that 100 by Virat Kohli. He got 186, and you've got Axar Patel with a quick fire 79. What that has done at the moment is give India a 91-run lead. But will that translate into a victory? That will be our focus in the program. But first, let's take a look at how day 4 panned out.
The day began with India trailing by 191 runs with Virat Kohli and Ravindra Jadeja at the crease. But early in the day came the news of Shreyas Iyer complaining of back pain and being taken for scans. But on day 4 in Ahmedabad, it was Virat Kohli who made all the headlines. His wait for a test run ended and he finished with a mammoth 186 runs under his belt.
The crowd is up on its feet.
But the rate at which India scored runs soon became the talk on the internet, as the host scored just 73 runs in the first session.
It would be that Kapil would bowl a bouncer there.
India batted at a higher strike rate in the successive sessions, and Axar Patel in particular was the aggressor.
And once again this boundary is too short.
Kohli was the last man to depart for India, and the host finished with a lead of 91 runs.
So this was going nowhere, and in the end Virat Kohli has to give his wicket away in trying to...
While the match looks set for a draw, the turn of events in New Zealand have created a stir. Sri Lanka, who are also in contention for the WTC final, have given themselves a real chance of winning the first test. A New Zealand win will seal India's place in the WTC final, but a Sri Lanka miracle in Christchurch could put India's plans on hold. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Okay. That's how the day ended for Australia. They came to bat in their second innings and had to face about 6 odd overs, but they are 3 for no loss. Kuhnemann was sent as the night watchman because at that time Usman Khwaja apparently is injured. We don't know whether he'll come out to bat on the 5th day or not. Harbhajan Singh still with us live on the program. Harbhajan, the first question that's on the mind of every cricket fan at the moment, we still have 3 sessions left. Australia have just come out to bat, but we've only seen 2 innings so far. Is a result here still possible?
Well, I think we are looking at possibly 2 results from here. One could be obviously draw, and second, India giving themselves a chance to win this test match is by taking those 3-4 wickets in the first hour itself. So if they able to do that in the morning, in the first session of the match, I think they'll be on the driving seat then. But I still believe that India should go into this game on the 5th day by thinking of winning the game rather than trying to go with the flow the way this match has gone with very slow kind of run rate and stuff. Wicket will fall whenever batsman wants to do some sort of mistake, but you have to go as a team inside the stadium, inside the ground, by thinking that this 5th day is going to be ours and we'll make things happen rather than waiting for things to happen.
Of course, as you know, someone, a well-wisher of Indian cricket, you would want India to win this. But whatever we've seen of the pitch in the first 4 days, do you really see any sort of assistance for the bowler? And if that's not going to be there, is it possible to then pick 10 wickets in this test match for India?
Yeah, obviously. I feel, it has happened in the past. We have seen teams crumbling on day one as well on such good wickets. And this is the 5th day's wicket. I understand this is a slower kind of a wicket, but of course, when you have 90 runs lead, that will put a lot of pressure on these Aussies to just defend the ball. And while they're defending too many balls, they will, give you those chances. And you want, as a bowler, every batter to face more than 6 balls, in continuity. So when, as a bowler, you're making the batsman play every ball, you're always there in the. So I believe, forget about, what the wicket is doing. Your intent has to be right. Your intent should be wickets. You are bowling to take wickets rather than, waiting for things to happen. And this is not the first time, or maybe the last time, we have seen, where the game have come on this stage. And, it comes down to belief. And people believe that they can do it. It can happen. And you must have seen the 5th day, the game, moved very, very quick in India. But first, you have to believe, and then that intent has to be there. And if that intent is there, of course, great things are there for you to go out there and get them.
No better example, as Harbhajan is saying, with things really moving fast on the 5th day. There was that historic test match that Harbhajan Singh was part of, 2001, Eden Gardens. Things moved really fast when Australia came down for their 4th innings in that 5th and final day. But Harbhajan, the difference was that Eden Gardens pitch had a bit of bounce. It had some sort of assistance for the spinners as well as the other bowlers. What do you, in general, make of the Ahmedabad test match pitch? Because here, the bounce has been very low, no assistance. The ball hasn't really been gripping, barring a few balls here and there. The first few test matches, the criticism was that it's turning too much. It was one extreme. What we've seen in this test match is the other extreme. Which is the kind of pitch that you prefer?
I don't see this as the other extreme, because this is what we have not seen for many years now. This was kind of taken away from the game. I think our batsmen were not getting the proper chance to score runs. And if they continue to play on such wickets, where we have seen in Delhi, Indore and in Nagpur, you'll continue to see their average fall even further. But, it's good to see Test cricket coming back to a normal kind of a format where the game goes on the 5th day. Yes, there are other aspects as well. I think the biggest aspect is India should have batted little faster in terms of, if you see, they've faced a lot of balls to score these many runs. I think once they were set, they could have easily, accelerate the pace of the game. And if they could have done that, they would have given themselves even more a better chance with 150 lead and 4th session in their hand. that's where you have to, kind of a thing that how we can be on the top of the game. And now you have 90 runs, in your hand, and only 3 sessions. Having 150 runs in your hands and having 4 sessions would have given you a really, really good chance. And that's why, in the morning of the test match, 4th day, teams should have come together and say, look, this is the strike rate we want you to play with, and take your time. First hour, maybe hour and a half. Then once you're set, once you're in, you take the game along. And of course, by scoring these many runs with better pace, they would have given themselves a better chance. And I feel this is a proper test cricket where every one had to work hard to get the result. The test result shouldn't be that easy. Anybody can come and take wickets. Anybody gets out. Virat Kohli, with the kind of stretcher, the player he is, it's so sad to see, when he's finding the ball, where the ball is going, how much is his spinning. So it makes him look like that he doesn't know how to bat. But, so we play on these kind of wickets where bowlers need to come in the game in the later part. Now, tomorrow is actually the test of the bowlers, how they can produce the result on the wicket where it's not giving them much, but yes, come up with the plan to win the game for India.
Okay, fair point there by Harbhajan Singh. Maybe the batsmen also needed to rest the initiative, as he's saying. If not much is happening, come together on day 4, make a plan. What is the strike rate that you need to bat on? Maybe things could have been different. But talking about Indian batting, the cherry on the top today was, of course, that 100 by Virat Kohli. 1,205 days we counted the last time he got a test 100. So this had been a very long wait for a batsman that had gotten so used to getting hundreds, even in test matches, at a consistent rate. It wasn't to be. But now finally, as Ravi Shastri said in commentary, that 600 gorilla is off his back. This is how Virat reached his 75th international 100.
The wait is over.
A 28th Test 100 for Virat Kohli, and one that has come after a gap of more than 3 years.
The celebrations control. The crowd is up on its feet.
The last time he reached the 3-digit mark in tests was back in November 2019.
Wonderful.
His century in Ahmedabad was his 16th versus Australia. Only the great Sachin Tendulkar has punished the Aussies more. The world was reminded of his greatness once again, given the manner in which he placed his innings.
He found the gap to the right of the field.
Kohli now has 75 centuries in international cricket, which is the second highest in the history of the game. He's only second to Sachin Tendulkar, who has 100 hundreds. Kohli has seen it all in the last few months. The former India captain ended a close to 3-year century drought last year in the Asia Cup, when he scored his first century in T20 internationals.
Absolutely brilliant.
Virat then scored his 44th ODI century against Bangladesh, which was his first since August 2019 in the format.
Around and just eases it to long off.
And then he went on to score 2 more ODI centuries in 3 matches against Sri Lanka in home conditions, surpassing the great Ricky Ponting's record of 70 centuries in international cricket.
Yes, he is. Back-to-back hundreds.
The king is now 25 centuries away from Sachin's record of 100 international centuries, and in 5 centuries in the last 6 months, he looks well on course to reach the biggest milestone in world cricket.
And taken in the deep.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
And in the end, Virat Kohli.
Right, everyone there at the ground as well as the Australian team appreciating the effort by Virat Kohli. 28th test done for him, but most importantly, now he's at 75 when it comes to the total number of international hundreds, only behind one man, that too an Indian, in Sachin Tendulkar. Harbhajan Singh, still with us. Harbhajan, would you say that a big weight must be off his shoulders? Because whatever said and done, here's a man who gets hundreds so consistently in international cricket. I know he got the T20 100, he got a few ODI hundreds before this, but the test run is special. That he's got after 1205 days would have made it very special. And now that weight is off, would you say he can go ahead and play freely in the coming test matches?
Well, obviously he must be very relieved with the 100, and so is all the fans. Of course, one of his sitting here. I wanted him to score runs, and all the other batters as well. I wanted to, see if they could play on better wickets where they also have the chance to score those runs. And I'm so glad they actually got the wicket where they had the chance to score runs. And Virat Kohli is being Virat Kohli, and of course he needed this kind of a knock to get back into the rhythm, and the kind of rhythm India would need him to be going forward. I hope from here onwards we'll see the upward for Virat Kohli, and he'll continue to be the vintage Virat Kohli for all of us and score many, many runs for Team India.
Okay, we all saw how Virat Kohli batted. That was there for all to see. The cover drives that he hit, the shots through mid-wicket that we've gotten so accustomed to. But let me tell you a thing that a lot of people did not know about, and that is courtesy his wife Anushka Sharma's Instagram story that she put out right after he had reached his 100, and where she wrote that, he was sick, and yet he was there fighting it out in the middle with a lot of composure. He's always inspiring people. So, and you could see, if you're watching that innings by Virat Kohli, you could see him coughing at certain stages of the match. So clearly now that we know he was sick as well, still went out and batted with so much composure. Does that then also tell you, Harbhajan, a lot about Virat Kohli's character? No matter what the situation, no matter if the chips are down, if he's made up his mind that today is the day, the pitch is to my liking, the conditions are to my liking, I'm going to get that 100.
Well, of course, he's a champion player, and he's that kind of a character. He put Team India ahead of him at all time, and he's one of those soldiers who are always ready to fight, and who's always ready to give his best, no matter how are they feeling in terms of if he was coughing, if he was having fever, we don't know, and knowing Virat Kohli, when his dad passed away, and the next day he went on to play a game and scored a brilliant 100. That showed that man is what he's made of. He loved being there in the park and showing what he can do for the country, and it's amazing, to see some people, give so much pleasure and so much kind of that joy to all of us, how this is done. And behind the kind of story, we don't know what they go through, and the kind of the hard work they have done is we don't know. But these are those things about Virat Kohli, that he's a hard-working guy who always put a team in front, and he's always ready to take those challenges first himself rather than putting those challenging on the others. So that's Virat Kohli, and I'm so glad that he's got that 100. He had to work hard, and of course from here onwards we'll probably see the upward and the old vintage Virat Kohli, where he continued to score many runs for Team India.
Okay, now's the toughest question of our entire interview, Harbhajan, which is, we were looking at, the tally of most hundreds. There are two Indians at number 1 and number 2, and both Indians who you've played with, very well. Sachin Tendulkar, of course, the only man on 100 international hundreds. Virat Kohli there now closing in the gap at 75. Yet, I must add that gap is still pretty big. The big question that's on the mind of every cricket fan, I can tell you, because social media is abuzz with this question: can he get to that 100 hundreds?
Well, this kind of noise will become even more louder. Every time you'll see Virat Kohli scoring 100 or coming close to that 100, this noise will become even more bigger. And yes, if one man who can do it, and that is Virat Kohli, and he's got all the ability, and he's very hardworking, and the age is on his side. He's only 34, and he's a proper athlete. I hope he doesn't get injured during these next 5-6 years, and if he doesn't, then I'm sure sky is the limit for this champion, and he'll probably score more 100 than great Sachin Tendulkar. But don't compare them. great Sachin Tendulkar, we can only say, sir, thank you very much for inspiring us to take up this game, and now Virat Kohli is doing that for the generation next. So these are true legends of Indian cricket, and hopefully, Virat will obviously get to that stage where Paji have reached, in terms of scoring those hundreds, and even if he doesn't, still he's going to be a legend.
We as Indian fans can just be happy with the fact that 1 and 2 spot are both with Indian cricketers. Whether Virat goes past Sachin or not, it will be, India at number 1 and India at number 2. Two young cricketers, Harbhajan, I want to talk to you about, apart from, Virat Kohli, who dominated day 4 of the test match. One is Axar Patel. Throughout this series, I go back to that Delhi test match, it was his knock that actually helped India, win that particular encounter. Here too, today you were talking about that strike rate. Axar Patel gets 79 at a strike rate of almost 70. This at a time where Virat Kohli, who was a set man, still, batting at a strike rate much lower than Axar Patel. Just tell us about the evolution of Axar Patel, the batsman that we've seen in the last year or so.
Well, he's been phenomenal with the bat. Obviously he didn't get too many chances with the ball in this particular series, because Jaddu was doing the damage, and also Ashwin bowled well in the series. So I feel as a batsman, Akshar coming at number 8 or 9 and scoring those winning knocks, 70 in Delhi and another inning in Nagpur was also very, very important one. I think those two innings were the difference in India's winning those 2 games. And here also, he put India ahead in this game by scoring those runs in quick fashion. And of course, good to see him evolving himself as an all-rounder, more with the bat now, since he's got the opportunity and he's making the most of it. And it's good to see, he's not, shying away from, he's not shy. Someone like Virat Kohli is batting on the other side, and he's not thinking about what he's doing, and he knows that if the ball comes in his zone, he's going to hit it, and that's his natural game. And I'm so glad that India is producing such talent and giving them the freedom that they can go out there and explore themselves. And Akshar is one of those talent. We need to look after him, take care of him, because he can bowl, he can bat, he can win you games coming down the order. So very, very impressive.
Oh, that's brilliantly put there by Harbhajan Singh as we break down Axar Patel's batting. In fact, now the common consensus is don't call him a bowling all-rounder, call him a proper all-rounder, because that's what he's turned into in the last few months, whether it's white ball cricket, whether it's red ball cricket. Harbhajan Singh, thank you so much for taking our time speaking to us about where this match stands at the moment on Virat Kohli's 75th international ton, and what is it that India really needs to do to win this particular test match. I'm afraid that's all the time that we have on this broadcast.